More than 5,000 people have been confirmed dead from that terrible typhoon that recently hit the Philippines. Now, as you know, WNWO has been leading the coverage and trying to show the different things that they're going through, especially down there in the island of Panay with a team of local doctors. They all went here, and this morning we have Dr. Richard Paat with us and Jim Blue, of course, to tell us a little bit more about your experience. Good morning, and thank you for joining us bright and early this morning.
Good morning. Yeah. Well, as you know, Annette, we traveled to Panay, which is an island kind of in the center of the Philippines, the island chain there, yeah. and covered some of the damage that was there and some of the folks who needed medical care. This team of local doctors, Dr. Paat was the leader of that team, and you rounded up 11 folks from this area and brought them all the way over to the Philippines, and I got to tag along.
Yeah, Dr. Paat, tell us about your experience.
Oh, it was great. You know, we had 11 from here. We hooked up with a team of 12 from the University of Santo Tomas, and we were able to treat almost 2,700 patients in our brief time that we were there.
Should have seen this. It was, well, I mean, we have some video right now. This is the rural health center that was set up, kind of an ad hoc clinic. And we had the doctors from here treating hundreds of patients, literally, each one of them, every day. And I think it was Gary Gladio, who you see here, a pediatrician from Maumee, who was treating this little girl who suffered from, well, we're not exactly sure of her diagnosis at this point, but she was really in dire need of medical care.
She at least had a pneumonia, and she has this abdominal mass that we're still trying to work up.
Right. So at least you guys got her into a hospital.
Right.
At your expense, at the expense of SCORE.
Yes, SCORE is funding her, the rest of her studies, and hopefully we'll have an answer.
Yeah. So anyway, these two clinics, this is one in a rural area. We had another clinic that was set up in the center of New Washington, which is one of the towns that was dramatically impacted by the typhoon. And no power in the area, wow. Very little communication, and it was, we were sleeping on the floor.
Yeah, we roughed it a little bit.
In the mayor's house there.
And then it rained on us when we were sleeping outside, so.
Right.
I can't imagine, I mean, what you went through for a week, to think that these people are going through there probably for at least a couple months to get everything back going again, to just make them livable circumstances, correct?
Right. Every patient that I saw had their roof damaged or their house destroyed. I mean, and yet they're smiling, they're happy, you know, they're trying to help each other out.
Yeah, the spirit of the Philippine people is incredible. This is Flor, one of the nurses from New Washington, who was helping our doctors there. And as I showed folks in a story a couple of days ago, her house was smashed, flattened. It was on the beach, and it was practically every home in that area was knocked down, unless it was a substantial home. That's what it looked like right after it got knocked down. But Flor and her family have been re-erecting it, putting the poles back up and putting the roof on it. That's her brother, who came in from Manila to help out in that process. So it's quite an enterprise to try and get things back to normal.
Yeah, now on a personal note, both of you guys were eyewitnesses to the damage and saw these people go through life-changing events. Tell me a little bit about how that impacted you guys.
Well, for me, you know, our family is Filipino origin, so it wasn't a question of, you know, if we were going to go, it was when we were going to go. And, you know, being able to provide health care to Filipinos it hits you right here, so.
Yeah.
I was inspired by it. I really was. First of all, by the dedication of the doctors who came from Toledo to help, and also by the people of the Philippines, because despite the fact that they've lost their homes, many of them have lost family members, and they have been injured, or they may have bad health because of this, they still soldier on. They just manage, and they do it with a smile on their faces. Yeah. It's incredible. It is inspiring. It truly is. It's one of those stories that truly touched me.
Well, thank you so much for representing Northwest Ohio in your service and going over there. I love the culture in the Philippines. We have a Filipino reporter, and